I finally decided that it was time to empty my composter and use it in my garden. This compost has been ready for about a month now. I emptied it out into a tarp and put it in my wheelbarrow. And I'm going to use most of it in my garden, but I'm also going to use some as an experiment. This bin is a mixture of potting soil, fertilizer, blood meal, and milky spores, which have really worked to help combat the issue I was having with grub worms. This is just a small box that I had laying around, and this is where the experiment begins. I'm combining the potting soil mixture and the compost, and I'm going to grow some celery in this box. I'm also amending the soil with some of my homemade goodies. I'm adding some homemade eggshell powder, which I've done a previous video on, and some of my banana peel fertilizer powder. I make this banana peel powder by putting all the banana peels that we use in the house in the sun and letting them dry until they're nice and brown and crispy. Then I throw them in the NutriBullet until they're a nice powder and I add it to my soil. My plants love it. Sprinkle those in and season up that soil, just like you season your food before you cook it. And I'm just mixing everything in. See that texture? That's the texture you want. Nice and moist, where you can squeeze it into a little ball, but not too wet or clumpy. I'm also going to add some of my homemade bone meal. Yes, I make my own bone meal. Bone meal is expensive out here. I also did a video showing you guys how to make your own. Check it out on my page if you missed it. So I threw some of that on top and I'm going to mix that in and season up that soil. I realized while I was mixing that I have some friends hidden in here. This soil is full of worms. These kind of worms are definitely welcome because they help irrigate the soil. And look at how nice and fat this one is. These are red wigglers. Those are the kinds you want to see in your soil. Drop him back in there and let him live. This is your home too, baby. Again, this is an experiment. I made some holes and I marked them with these little toothpicks and I dropped my seeds in and I'm going to cover it with some compost. My compost is full of nutrients. I made it from kitchen scraps that I've been throwing in my compost and it's been breaking down for quite some time. I water it to keep it moist and spin it every couple of days to mix everything up. And now I'm excited because my composter is empty and I get to start all over again. I already have some kitchen scraps that I ground up and I'm going to add them to the composter this weekend. I continue covering the seeds and again, I see some friends. Hey, friend, look at my friends. And there you have it. I'm going to attempt to grow some celery in this box and we'll see how it goes. I'll give you guys an update as time goes on. But pray for me, y'all. Pray for patience because celery takes a few months. I've actually never grown celery, so I'm interested in seeing the process. I labeled the box so I can remember what the heck is in here. Water it in a little and make sure that everything stays moist while those seeds germinate. I'm actually not going to leave the box up there, so don't worry. And that's it.